wouldn't call Donald Trump, as Ben Shapiro does this morning at nationalreview.com, a stranger in a strange land. I would call him an invader, an infiltrator, a saboteur in and of the good land. For Trump, conservatism is a foreign realm to visit and rape and pillage and discredit on the way to his final destination. On Monday evening, Donald Trump gave a speech in which he attempted to lay out his economic plans for the nation. The speech represented his usual combination of lies, i.e. tax cuts and regulatory loosening he has no intention of carrying out, and incoherent ignorance. Free trade is the devil. But because Trump stuck to the teleprompter for the first time in a week, Trump starved the media of a juicy headline, but as we just discussed in the immediately preceding video, it didn't have to wait 24 hours for the real Trump to reemerge. A gaffe that would distract from Hillary Clinton's hurricane of incompetence, which, of course, is one of his purposes in this race. And that minor amount of message discipline bore dividends. Within 12 hours, now this was Monday, this is not yesterday, this is Monday. That's why he rushed out there with his latest stupid ass thing about, so Second Amendment supporters might just have to take care of Hillary Clinton. Within 12 hours, the news story of Monday was that Hillary's team had not only allowed the father of Orlando jihadist Omar Mateen into one of her rallies, but she had seated him behind her in full view of the audience and media. In other Hillary news, families of the Benghazi dead filed a lawsuit against Hillary. I don't know why they waited so long to do so. And in still other news, Hillary now has to answer questions about why there was material on her private server about an Iranian spy. For nearly a day, the news cycle seemed to spin Trump's way, but he, of course, couldn't let that happen. Then the timer on his phone went off, and he realized it was time once again to shove his head up his ample orange ass. So, in the middle of a rally yesterday, he began rambling about Hillary Clinton's Supreme Court picks. If she gets to pick her judges, nothing you can do, folks. Although the Second Amendment people, well, maybe there is. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, ha, ha, ha. This is silly stuff, even if we assume that Trump knew that the Second Amendment pertains to firearms, always a mildly questionable proposition, at least, given his knowledge of the 12 articles of the Constitution. It's silly because a Supreme Court ruling overturning Heller isn't going to lead gun owners to storm the White House and take Hillary Clinton hostage. That's a slur on gun owners, including you, Doug. Gun owners would probably take violent action against government agents if those government agents showed up on their doorsteps and entered their homes to confiscate the rightfully held guns. It's condescending and dumb of Trump to portray Second Amendment people as sitting around, oiling their AR-15s, jerking off to deliverance, waiting on the edge of their chairs for the moment Justice Obama rules that we have no individual right to keep and bear arms anymore, which I thought he already did. I'm sure it's in executive order somewhere. Violence against the government is the last resort for law-abiding gun owners. Trump treats Second Amendment people as vigilantes on the loose. I'm Batman. But that's the natural result of nominating a man who speaks conservative, well, who can't speak conservative. Remember how Mitt Romney, people used to say about Mitt Romney, well, he tries to speak the language of conservatism, but just doesn't quite have the hang of the accent? Trump can't speak it at all. He needs a universal translator. Pro-life Americans already found this out when Trump was questioned about the legal consequences for abortion by MSNBC's Chris Matthews, the man who combs his hair with a shoe, a.k.a. He asked Trump, should the woman be punished for having an abortion? If you say abortion is a crime or abortion is murder, you have to deal with it under law. Should abortion be punished? Of course, we know the answer to that question. It's the abortician who should be punished because it's the abortician who commits the foul deed. The mother is as much of a victim as the child. That isn't what Trump said, if you will recall. Trump answered, because he is wildly unfamiliar with basic pro-life positioning, well, people in certain parts of the Republican Party and conservative Republicans would say, yes, they should be punished. The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment. Matthews, just to make sure that nobody was, that this smear, this of the pro-life movement by Donald Trump could not possibly be misunderstood, Matthews drilled down and asked, for the woman? Trump answered, yeah, there has to be some form of punishment. This is what Trump imagined the abortion people would think, just as he thinks that Second Amendment people are ready to load up and go hog wild. And so conservatives had to spend a week re-explaining the basic pro-life position. And you're telling me that Donald Trump isn't trying to sabotage the right? And remember, Trumplicans, you nominated him. This is all on you. Same holds true with regard to evangelical Christians. When he's asked about his own level of religiosity, Trump has repeatedly changed the topic, uttering gobbledygook about his level of popularity among evangelicals. When he's forced to answer, he simply babbles about an eye for an eye, misinterpreting the text, of course, and says he never wants to repent, which means he's not saved, by definition. Again, Trump is an invader of the good land. Trump is even ignorant about hawkish foreign policy. He knows that Republicans want somebody tough on security, but he takes that to mean Republicans want to shoot the family members of terrorists in violation of international law. He says he's for America first, but he also disclaims American exceptionalism. When it comes to border security, Trump parrots Senator Jeff Sessions' positions on immigration, until he doesn't. He openly admits that he shouts, "Build that wall!" in order to gin up his base, but he has no intention of actually building the wall. It's a starting negotiation position. Donald Trump makes the same assessment of his voters that Barack Obama did. They're bitter clingers who cling to God and guns and xenophobia. He doesn't know them because he is not of them. Donald Trump is a liberal Democrat, a New York, Manhattan, Upper East Side liberal Democrat. To him, conservatives are weird and alien. This is why Trump felt the need during the Trumpvention to congratulate Republicans when they cheered his promise to defend gay citizens. I must say, as a Republican, it's so nice to hear you cheering for what I just said. Could anything demonstrate Trump's disconnect and contempt for his own voters better than this? Conservatives have never stood in favor of terrorists murdering homosexuals. And yet, Trump seems surprised by that revelation, just like any member of the left. Because he's not a conservative, because he is a liberal, a left-wing nut, that's why conservatives are kooky characters with whom he casually associates in order to get where he wants to be. The Second Amendment people are a different tribe. He can appease them with shouts of NRA, even if he tells them that the government should use the terror watch list to ban gun ownership. The abortion people are a different tribe as well. So too are the foreign policy people. This is why Trump falls back on the rhetorical tick of some people say. He wouldn't say, but he knows that someone is saying something and he wants to pay them phony homage. Because conservatism is a foreign land to Trump, and he is invading it, he regularly and unintentionally demeans, not unintentionally, he regularly and intentionally demeans conservative positions and philosophies. He allows the media to caricature conservatism as everything leftists always believed conservatism to be: nasty, parochial, violent, and stupid. And thus, conservatives have to spend more time re-explaining their positions than Trump spends defending them and promoting them to the American people, because he doesn't believe in them. Because one of his primary roles in this race is to depict conservatism as nasty, parochial, violent, and stupid. And yet, 40% of the Republican nominating electorate chose him as the GOP presidential standard bearer. So maybe that stupid part isn't that far off.